Be awesome somewhere else. Later skate, hold up. Where the fuck am I? This isn't Earthhound's YouTube channel.
I brought you here.
A Jirachi. How in the fuck did a wish-granting Pokemon have enough power to teleport a kaiju such as myself here?
You'd be surprised what an alpha Pokemon infused with godly powers can do. Anyway, I brought you here because I want you to rip into Nostalgia Critic again.
But I just did that.
I know. I pulled you from that point in history to right now to help me.
But one other film review was just as bad.
His Twister video.
Twister. That film was horse shit, but I see your point. However, I don't do this kind of stuff for just anyone.
I mean, I could just leave you here in my universe. I have a lot of mechas to spare, and I don't mind having a second Kiryu in my collection.
You technically have 4 of us!
Shut up!
Okay. Fine, I'll rip and see another asshole, but on one condition.
State your price!
You join me in doing so. I just did some analysis of this universe, because I totally can do that, and I found that Twister is your favorite film outside of Jirachi, Wishmaker, and a few Godzilla films.
You got a deal. Let's do this shit!
Hello, my name is Mechagodzilla, the awesomest thing in existence. You're supposed to introduce yourself, as is obligatory in my videos. Keizer.
I'm named Keizer. You're the Pokemon.
And today I was forced against my will to school Nostalgia Critic again by this fine chap. While it is far from a perfect film, NC did the same thing in this video, as he did in his Lost World review.
And I wanted to assist this badass in tearing this man apart. Anyway, let's start.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to.
More like you intentionally showed clips out of context so we don't have to watch the movie and think for ourselves. Wait, I just said that in my Lost World video.
Probably a default response to any time he says that.
Shut up.
People, as you all know, I am very rarely wrong.
I call bullshit.
With that out of the way, let's talk about disaster movies. No, not that kind of disaster movie.
I will agree that that film was bad.
I second this, but it was far from a disaster. Now, the English version of Keldeo and the Swords of Justice, and the first initial Cartoon Network broadcast of Zoroark Master of Illusions.
Or the American version of Mewtwo Strikes Back.
A film that asks many daring questions, like how many Bill Paxtons does it take to slam your head against a wall?
Would you rather him be killed by the movie monsters?
Granted, that's not really a problem with those movies.
True, but any film I saw him in, he got killed.
When did the special effects of tornadoes take over the special effects of storytelling?
Even though they do not define a film, credit where it's due, the special effects for this film were groundbreaking at the time.
And is that Daniel from Lost?
Hey, I know, that guy from something else I watched. That's something wrong with the film.
So it starts off with, oddly enough, a twister. Oh good, that means the movie's almost over, right?
Were you expecting a short film or a feature film?
MC also glosses over this piece of meteorological trivia. The father tells his family that the TV said it might be an F5. This scene takes place in 1969, and the Fajita scale for tornadoes was not introduced until 1971.
Holy shit, you're not kidding.
Oh, I get it. You want to take credit for my design.
You like that? I'm doing an American and a Southern accent, so you can't even tell that I'm British.
How dare actors who are from other countries use a different accent from their main accent? It's like getting mad at Alfred Molina for his work as Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Or Sam Neill as Alan Grant in the Jurassic Park films.
Even though the first Jurassic Park was overrated.
It was our idea and you know it.
Unrealized idea. Unrealized.
Geesh, I never knew tornado hunting was such a competitive sport.
It's not really.
Finally, a twister is spotted as the team rushes to the cars to try and hunt it down.
Keizer popped in his Blu-ray of Twister to see, where they said a twister was spotted, and nowhere in this scene does such a thing happen.
Phil only suspected that there was a tornado, not that there was a definite one.
While they're driving towards the twister, we're fortunate enough to listen to some of Annoyance's greatest hits. How is this the least bit charming?
It was actually one of my favorite parts of the film when I was a kid. Also, Child in Time is the shit, as is the entire soundtrack of the film. It is far from an annoyance.
The rest of this part is just music being overlaid and repeated with the critic just telling everyone to shut the fuck up. Not to mention the next part that he riffs on is placed out of order.
Yeah, he claims that Bill and Joe were arguing as they were chasing the Twister, when in actuality they argued, then spot the Twister. Plus, the scene with Jonas was misplaced as well.
Jonas!
It's not funny! It's never been funny! It's never gonna be funny!
Funnel getting thicker! It's moving fast! Coming towards you, Joe!
Is it me or did the tornado just roar?
Coming towards you, Joe!
What, were there some dinosaurs in that barn house or something?
The roaring was done to emulate the roaring-like sound of a tornado, not that they actually sound like that. Besides, do you want that or just wind noises against a microphone?
I can tell you the amount of times I've seen tornado home videos that the primary sound from these videos of these magnificent forces of nature is just wind. A lot of people compare the sound of a tornado to that of a freight train, too.
Okay, talk to me, what happened? It sounded like a freight train. It just passed right on top of us.
So roaring tornado isn't too far-fetched if you think about it.
Hello, future Mechagodzilla here. I also wanted to point out that he spliced in the audio of a later scene into this part of the film. Now back to the video.
So they hide under a bridge, which is actually the stupidest thing you can do, considering not only can it collapse on you, but it's also a wind tunnel of suction.
Oh, look at that, an actual criticism.
But considering the time period this film was released, it was considered the safest option, but only if no other shelter was available, though this was for overpasses, not small wooden bridges. True, it's not the smartest option, but it's better than nothing.
So the tornado leaves them, but takes the truck somehow, as it quickly disappears into the atmosphere.
Basically, this man doesn't know how tornadoes work, and yet he belly aches when the film shows you what tornadoes are capable of. There are actual recorded cases of tornadoes picking up something as large as an 18-wheeler and throwing them a few hundred feet from where they were picked up or even a mile or so away. It is shown later in the film with the much larger tornado, but even a tornado that small can still pick up a truck and toss it like a toy.
So the tornado passes over our heroes and, once again, it suddenly disappears. Have you noticed how they just immediately vanish after every encounter? What, does Bill Paxton taste bad or something?
Ha!
Most tornadoes only last a few minutes. These fellows were likely in their road stages when we first see them, and the road stage is basically the final stage of a tornado before it dissipates.
So Dusty and the team inform Joe that they need to take a break and get something to eat.
Food.
Use your adult words!
If you didn't cut the scene before they shouted food, you would see them doing just that.
While there, we also hear about the different levels that tornadoes are classified as, such as F1, F2, and so forth.
What was that, an F3?
Solid F2.
Little encounter we had back there is a strong F2, F3 maybe.
Bet we see some F4s today.
You know, tornadoes don't sound as threatening when you name them after buttons on your keyboard.
First of all, keys, not buttons.
Beat me to it.
And second, you cut out the part where they mention the Fujita scale. Like they state, the scale measured the intensity of how much is destroyed. In 2007, it was replaced by the enhanced Fujita scale, which takes into account the quality of construction and standardizes different kinds of structures, along with the wind speeds of the funnel.
Damn Keizer. You really know your shit when it comes to tornadoes.
Well, in my youth, I was a bit of a tornado nut. Still kind of am.
And even though they're nowhere near the CB radio, Melissa hears every single word they're saying.
She's using a hand-free mic, meaning that you don't need to key the mic or anything.
But she doesn't have long to think about it, as guess what the hell shows up? No, it can't be. Are you really serious? How many tornadoes can there be in one day? Is this like the 11th belated plague of Egypt? I mean, this simply does not happen.
Actually, it can and it does. They are called tornado outbreaks, and there are records of these, even as far back as the 1600s.
It's coming! It's headed right for us! It's already here!
Of course it's already here! Just assume it's always in the coffee shop waiting for you.
Of course you manipulate the scene once again. Dusty telling them that it's coming happens before we, as the audience, see the tornado itself.
Here, Melissa finally decides to talk to Bill and dump the idiotic bastard.
Melissa didn't dump Bill in Wakita, you damn idiot. She dumped him back at the drive-in. Once again, you're manipulating the scene.
But it looks like the final battle is just ahead of them. As Dusty reports on, big surprise, another tornado in the area.
Did you seriously criticize a film about tornadoes for having too many tornadoes?
But Bill tries to warn them that they're too close to the tornado and that it's gonna turn around and hit them.
Jonas, listen to me. This is not
Get off this frequency, Bill.
Jonas, I'm telling you. Eddie, I know you can hear me. Turn around now.
Maybe we should do what he says. He'd never put us in harm's way. When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
I don't need your opinion. I don't need any man's opinion. I'm Jonas P. Opinion Hater.
This whole segment is placed out of order, yet again. Plus, Jonas isn't saying he hates opinions. That is the film setting up his demise from his overconfidence.
But it may turn out that wasn't such a hot idea. Remember to drink Pepsi! Well, they could still be okay. Probably not.
They could still be okay. Eddie was fucking impaled by a piece of a radio tower. He was already dead when you said that. Not to mention you'd have to be incredibly lucky to survive from a fall that high after being picked up by a tornado. Jonas was practically already a dead man once the funnel picked up the truck. True, he was still alive when the truck was picked up, but it still doesn't change the fact that he was going to die anyway.
Everything you can imagine is thrown at them. Wheels, debris, tractors, even a friggin' house. Oh God, what else could they possibly throw on their way? Look out! It's the Sears Tower! The Titanic! Ozzy Osbourne!
Hey, what's all this here about the tornado? Hey!
To answer your initial question, pretty much anything. Tornadoes are powerful beasts.
Horse!
Funny as this may seem, that's not even a fucking criticism.
You're an idiot! You're a bitch! You're annoying!
Jesse was fucking awesome, you asshole.
And you're a god-awful movie!
It's not the best film out there, but I wouldn't go on record to say that it was god-awful. It's an enjoyable ride, while it lasts.
Why was this movie such a big hit? Because of the effects, nothing else.
I disagree. The characters were meh, but this film does have a minor cult following. So much so that in Wakita, there's even a museum dedicated to this film.
Phew, I'm glad that's over. This film wasn't really that good.
I can agree to disagree.
But I will indeed agree that the Nostalgia Critic clearly knows nothing about natural disasters, and I will also agree that the film does indeed do a good job of showing what tornadoes can be capable of, as stated previously. Anyway, how about sending me home? I did my part and you also held up your end of the bargain.
This is complicated. I was able to bring you here no problem, but to send you back.
What the fuck? Are you telling me that I'm stuck here?
Not quite. I didn't take into account that sending you back was more complicated.
Well, try it.
All right, let's see. Well, it was fun having you around, Mechagodzilla.
To be honest, I wouldn't have minded staying here in your universe. From my analysis, Drew Pickles and Microsoft Sam share this very universe with each other, and not a lot of Speakonia videos have that. You really have something special here, Keizer, and I'd hate to leave it.
True, but if I didn't send you back, some crazy shit would happen. Plus,
future someday.
Me too, buddy. Me too. Alright, let's try this. Okay, we're sure to say this now, not the knobs, the omniscience, and as I need my sissy.
I'm finally free
Oh,
from
crap. Here, let's try again. Make my wish, but knobs, the omniscience, and the sissy.
Hello, my good man. I'm the Cube Muppet.
Man,
Looks like you are
no.
going to give up. No.
This is more difficult than I thought. It's only bringing me people already in this universe. Aha! This must be it.
Hey Keizer, what are you doing?
Oh, it's nothing important.
Is that so? Then what is that in your hands?
A spell book.
Wait, for real? I thought you were going to lie and say some bullshit about how it's just a regular book or something.
Well, I don't lie to my friends and colleagues.
Well, do be careful with those spells. Bill Gates was telling me that he saw a movie back in December of 2021 about Spider-Man asking Doctor Strange to make people forget he was Peter Parker. He keeps trying to have Strange modify the spell and then shit hits the fan, with villains from previous Spider-Man films showing up in the MCU. It sounded pretty cool, but he doesn't have the film for me to watch. Puzzling, since he's like the richest person in the world.
So I take it you came to ask if I had it?
Of course.
Yeah, it's in my game room. Go ahead and pop it into the PS4.
Hey, Luke. Game room lock Keizer, here I come.
Alright, focus, Keizer. And here my server, help us help when I will start stupid.